Aidyn Chronicles or Aidyn Chronicles. Either way, they are Chronicles, and they're happening on the Nintendo 64, exclusively so. A role-playing game exclusive to the system that I have never encountered before, but I have heard is shocking. However, we will approach this with optimism and see how it goes. Oh, Aidyn Chronicles the First Mage, sorry, to give it its full title. I'm calling it Aidyn. It may well be Aidyn. We will call our character SDG, of course. I know very little about this. It was developed by H2O Entertainment, and it's got a hilariously interesting looking chef. Graphically, I'm not devastated in what I'm seeing. It's maybe a little bit over ambitious for the system's capabilities, but I'll never have a go at that. Wow. Yes, we have come a long way to the likes of The Witcher 3 when you see this. From 19 years ago, this game, 2001. Okay, I really don't know what's happening here, but it's quite interesting to watch. I have heard, like I say, that it's quite a poor game, sadly. But, you know, the role-playing genre was really, really underserved, I think, on the N64. There really weren't many. That's if I separate out the likes of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, but I'm always of the opinion that the Legend of Zelda games are more action-adventure than role-playing, as I touched upon in my review recently of Alundra on the PlayStation 1. But a straight-up role-playing game this certainly is, from what I gather. I don't know if the combat's turn-based or not, or real-time, but I believe it has inventories, levelling up, all of that type of thing, maybe even side quests as well. It's a very extensive plotline here. SDG come out immediately, that was quite fun. SDG, SDG, SDG. Look at that rat. Yes, the N64 has quite blocky graphics, but it did what it could with what it had available. But I would say I don't think this would have been particularly impressive even back in 2001 to me. You know, we're talking about the same year that Metal Gear Solid 2 came out, just to put that in perspective. And Final Fantasy X was similarly placed time-wise. So, I mean, obviously it was hamstrung by the N64's capabilities, but still, it's very clearly got ideas above its station. Okay, so this woman has got some sort of witchy powers. Mistress Reader. Very involved storyline. Okay. The chef has a very interesting look to his face. Okay. So this is SDG, I take it. Oh, I'm married. Okay. Oh no, was that me speaking to Kendall? Whoever Kendall is, or whatever Kendall is. Okay, it's going on a little bit. Let's move it along. Okay, so I am in game now. This frame rate is struggling. would be the first comment I'd make. Okay, so here's my inventory. I've got some healing potions, swords, armour, shield, a club. Very run-of-the-mill RPG gubbins. Just trying to see what the controls are like. I'm not sure what that is. I'm assuming that means there's maybe a party system. Well, what's he? Some kind of troll? Goblin? Hail and well met. It's got a very very strong vibe of the game on Xbox 360 that I adored, mainly to laugh at, called Two Worlds. If anyone has ever had the pleasure of that game, it very, very similar feel to it in both. I'm actually going to say in look as well, which is a sad indictment of how Two Worlds looks on Xbox 360. But the story and the way people are speaking, it's very, very similar type of game. That was actually a game that attempted to be like Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 4, believe it or not. It didn't quite succeed, but I highly recommend, if nothing else, you go on YouTube and try to look up Two Worlds on the Xbox 360 and how the voice acting was on that one. It's just got the same exact, I don't know if charm's the word I'd use, as that game. Why is he calling me a pup? Very interesting feel to this game. Unlike any N64 game I've ever played. What is that? Oh, I'm being attacked. SDG begins action. So, right, it is turn-based then. So I walked forward 3 steps and then it's given power now of attack to the giant bat. Okay, so I can run. Oh! There we go. So it's turn-based in a fashion in that you do take it in turns with a character, but once you actually have control, it's not a menu-based turn-based system. It is a real-time. So all I did then was literally press A and it attacked. Interesting little attack there. The battle system's a bit unique. Oh. What is that? Oh, look at the background, look at the texture work there. I don't understand. These things obviously constrain how far I can move, but it's not clear how I then pass action across. Oh dear. Oh dear. SDG fails to perform. Story of my life. Oh dear. Aidyn Chronicles, what were you thinking? It's interesting, but it's absolutely abysmal as well. That needs to be sadly clarified. It's just too much ambition for the system. Put simply, that is the reality of this. That they've had such huge dreams for Aidyn Chronicles, and they've thrown everything at it, and they've ended up with a game with a frame rate that's sub 10 frames a second, some of the most horrendous graphics I've seen in a game, to be honest. I mean, the background there, what am I looking at? And the gameplay is just shocking. I hate to be so mean to a game that had such lofty ambitions, but the story seemed quite interesting and quite involved, but you know, an RPG will always be judged on the game element predominantly, above the story and everything like that. And the game, sadly, look at the way that rat died, sadly is letting this down drastically. So it is a shame. Like I say, they really did try. They've thrown everything at it, but it's just not quite got the power in the system, or the capability perhaps in the developers' hands, to deliver on the ambition that they had, which is an interesting thing to consider. I don't know anything about H2O Entertainment, if they made any other games. Might have to look into that. But there we go, that is Aidyn Chronicles, the first Mage, an N64 RPG that was exclusive to the system, that sadly doesn't quite meet its lofty ambitions.